Back with another video. Royce Reed live, afraid for her life, and her SAed. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of my videos, and go ahead and share it if you like. Make sure you comment down below for the algorithm. Now, I'm happy she went on and said something, because a lot of people are like, okay, why she saying something now after 20 years? Like she said, her son is 17 years old, so 18 years. But like she said, they had an agreement. They had to go to court and everything, and she was not allowed to say anything. But like she said, now that agreement is gone and they got a different agreement, now she can say something. Sometimes you never know the reason why things are said or aren't said. And like she said, she couldn't say anything, but now she can say something, and she putting it out there. And she needs for this to be told, because all of the things that happened, the fact that all these people in her family was SAed by Dwight's brother, I'm going to say allegedly, but this is what she's saying, Dwight's brother. And then the nanny SAed her son. Like, yeah, I would want people to know that too. I would want to put that out. Like she said, she wasn't allowed to, so I get why she didn't. But now she wants to tell her story. Like for some reason right now is the time that everybody wanting to put everything out there. I guess she feel like everybody else can do it. She can do it too. She was put in this situation where she was in an agreement where she couldn't say anything, but now she can. So she's telling her whole story. So y'all pay attention to what she's saying, because this is sad. And a lot of people get shut up like that. When people got money and they have stuff out there and they can do what they want to do, and they got people behind them, big names, all this stuff like that, they get away with that stuff. And to be the people that don't have a whole lot, they have to suffer and have to agree to certain things to make sure their kids are okay. This whole situation is crazy, but I'm going to just say allege, and if this is true, because I don't know. I'm just telling what she's telling. But yeah, y'all pay attention to this, and I'm going to be showing some other videos that she's posting and stuff. So y'all comment down below as y'all watching this. Tell me how y'all feeling about this. Would y'all have done the same thing when your agreement was up, or you would have just kept it to yourself? Sometimes I feel like people need to tell their stories to heal themselves, for one. For two, to put it out there for other people to be like, don't be scared to say what you need to say. But anyway, let's go and watch that.
We gonna have a talk, because I'm finna tell y'all what's finna happen today. And tell me if I'm wrong. Because there's some of you who are out there who are thinking that I'm talking now because he's engaged. Again, okay. I'm gonna tell you what the PR tactic is and why. Because somebody snitched and told that side what baby mama number 1 and number 2 were up to. But it's all good. So I'm gonna let y'all know what's gonna happen today, okay? And y'all are gonna be, well, some of y'all just hate me, which is totally fine. I mean, hate is a strong word, but some of y'all really hate me. Some of y'all really be on like Lipstick Alley still. I was blown when I found out that was still a thing. Oh my God, that's still a thing. Wow. But tea has been spilled. So let me tell y'all what's gonna happen today before I put out part 4. Because of everything that is going on, there is a birthday party that is happening today. Yes, a birthday party. There's a birthday party for his third daughter. I'm sorry, well, second daughter, but third child. The child that was born 6 months, not even, after his first daughter. Yeah, all the kids that were kept secrets. Anyways, there's going to be a birthday party today, and it's going to have his family and, not friends of this child, because the child lives in Canada, but I digress. There's going to be this huge birthday party. It's going to probably be at his house. He's going to post a bunch of pictures. He's going to have a PR person, a photographer, who is going to go around and videotape all these decorations, okay? And every photo, every video is going to be of, the child smiling and being so happy. There's going to probably be a karaoke video of some sort. There's going to be a lot of hugging and a lot of smiling, a lot of this. It's going to be a whole lot of that. That's what's going to happen today. Why? Because everything is now coming out. All right. So I just want y'all to be prepared. It is definitely a PR stunt. The other daughter that was basically stolen from her mother is there. She was just dropped off late last night, I believe, because she loves her sister. She loves her siblings. I'm not about the okie doke. I'm not about the PR stunts. I'm not about any of that. I've never been about it. Why? Because I majored in basically entertainment, theater education, and humanities. Humanities was probably the best thing I could have taken because I learned a lot about psychology. So when people are pushed up against the wall, especially when you're an entertainer, what you have to do is you have to put out PR stunts. You have to have a PR team. So when things come out about you that are bad and you're an elephant fighting an ant, it's easy to shut me up. It's easy to make the world go around and say, oh my God, she is just jealous because he's engaged now. Are y'all serious? Y'all really, there's no way that some of y'all really think that. But if you do, that means because you will eat, sleep, shit that person, which is not fine, but if that's your life, then so be it. But for me, I'm about truth, and I'm about being shut up for over 17 years. And I say over 17 years because my child is 17, but I was pregnant, right? And then we go back from that and we talk about when we were dating. Regardless of age, we dated for 3.5 years, okay? And even though I was 5 years older than him, that shit happens. I was also very young-minded myself. And I think people miss that because when they hear 24, they think about themselves when they were 24. But let's give some context. When I was 24, I had only had one sexual partner consensually, okay? I was raped of my virginity. So I was not experienced in all of that at all. I didn't really know about different positions. I didn't know about different, things that happen during intercourse. I was just as green as I thought he was. I was told that, he had just recently lost his virginity. We had these deep-ass conversations, all right? And I felt like he enjoyed the same things that I did. We enjoyed being goofy. We enjoyed being silly. We were both immature together, okay? I enjoyed going to theme parks. This is stuff that we were doing. Playing hide and go seek in his townhouse and then house. This is the stuff that we did. We were just immature together, all right? But as time went on and the physical and mental and verbal abuse happened, yes, even at my age and dealing with someone 5 years younger than me that is 6'11", about damn 200 pounds, you can still be put in your place, okay? So we're not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, you should have known better. Maybe I should have, but that's not how I was raised. And that's just what it is. But what I have learned and what I learned at FAMU is to really read people. So it took me, yes, about 4 years to read who this person really was. But once I did start paying attention to certain things. I did start paying attention to certain traits. I did start paying attention to what he was telling me versus what was being done. So his sister and him coming on my live yesterday and commenting, and I'm so happy I didn't see it because I was just so into speaking. I'm so happy I didn't see it because had I probably would have said a lot more, such as their older brother molesting them, okay? I'm just gonna put it out there. And y'all might be like, oh my God, did she just say that? Yes, the fuck I said it, because the same thing happened to my son for 5 years and nobody did shit. Okay? So when you're dealing with a family who has had sexual assault and molestation in their family and they hid it, they went to church. Heal my son. Okay? And it was a half brother, so it wasn't the mother's son, it was the father's older son. But finding out about all this stuff, and I've heard it before, but I didn't hear it necessarily in depth when he was crying on my shoulder about things that had happened to him and his sister. I kept it. But then when it started happening more and more and more, and now you're trying to basically be quiet and you're trying to act like it didn't happen. There was an entire interview that was done about this brother and how much he loved him and everything. You go on Google or you go on Bing or whatever these little search engines are, you don't see them shits. You don't see them at all. All those stories have been wiped clean. So when people tell you that something is on the internet, or when something is on the internet, it's on there forever, that's a fucking lie. Money can get shit removed, okay? There is not one story about that brother anymore. But yes, that is the brother that molested his sister for years. And they still sent her to spend time with him during the summer. The only time that that brother went to jail was when he molested his own daughter. And she told. People are mandated reporters. Okay? That's why his ass finally went to jail. It wasn't because of what he had done to the brother, him, his sister, none of that. Because they believe God can handle it. All right? So for 5.5 years, my child was molested. And I knew it. I threatened the nanny. Well, let me not say threatened because like I said before, I promised her if I found out that she was doing something to my child, we're going to have a problem. When I found that out, what happened? I get ghosted, y'all. I now know nothing about what is going on in that house. And that's where I ended video 3. So I'm doing video 4 right now on live. All right? So let's talk about it. My child continued to come home. As he got older, he started stating certain things. Mind you, I am now in court because I'm refusing to let my child go over to his father's house. Wouldn't you as a mother, if you know that your child is being touched, wouldn't you as a mother not allow your child to go somewhere regardless of what the fuck the system says? I'm pretty sure you would. But what y'all saw on the internet, what y'all saw in the blogs and on the news, who I thought was real. I always thought the news was real. I'm sure a lot of us did growing up. We thought if it's on Channel 9, Channel 2, WESH, what all these other shits are, they have to be telling the truth, right? No, they don't. They say whatever they want to say. Obviously, look who our president is. Or y'all president. Anyway, moving on. After I made that threat, I was told very little about what was going on in the house. When I would call to check on my child, nobody would answer. There was an assistant there by the name of Mrs. R. I'm going to say Mrs. R because she really did try to help me. When I was telling her about how I felt, she was like, well, I don't trust her anyway because she's been caught on camera stealing clothes. Oh, but she's still the nanny. That's crazy to me. But anyway, cool. Let's move forward. My child is still being dropped off at home. And as I'm giving him baths, he's playing with himself. But in a way that's not like normal, because I asked the doctor about it and I'm like, is he supposed to be doing this? I know like boys, you know, they get erections fast, but like, is it normal for them to do this, do that? And she's like, absolutely not. She's like, you need to start writing things down in a journal. Do I need to go get my journal? Do I need to go get my phones? Because I have all the emails of where I talked about this. But let's move on. We now go to court because I'm denying visitation. That's how it was put on the internet. That's how it was put in the news, that I am being taken to court again because I am unable to work with. I am not following the agreement that we have. I am just this terrible, bitter baby mama, right? That's what was put out to the world. That's what people were thinking about me. When in the meantime, I'm fighting for my child, right? We go to court and I got all this proof. I got stacks of paper and I can't really say too much because why? He got our case sealed. Why are we sealing cases if it's about me? Why are we sealing cases if you're so right in what you're doing and you want to show the world that I'm crazy? Why are we sealing cases? But our case is sealed. Cool. Whatever. I'm still fighting for my child by any means necessary. So in court, when I make the comment about my child is being molested, how dare you say that? This is Judge Timothy Shea. I will say his fucking name. Judge Timothy Shea. Okay? This man told me, how dare you make that accusation about Mr. Howard? How dare you do this? And if I ever hear you say anything like this again, I'm going to just change custody. I'm going to give custody to Mr. Howard 100%. What? It's in the docket that I got my ass up and I cussed him out and I said, fuck you. I turned and I said to his attorney, which was Man Downs, and I said, fuck you. And I started walking out the courtroom. I swore that was the day that I would get my first mugshot. I did. But I didn't. And I walked. I didn't run. I walked to the elevator. I got on that elevator. I walked out the courthouse. I walked to the parking garage. I got in my car. I left the parking garage. Nobody stopped me. But yes, I also called his attorney a fat ass bitch. I did. Because at this point, this is about my child. I don't give a what none of y'all got to say. Y'all could sit here and call me a bitter baby mama. You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe I am because of what my child went through. And people sat there and just let him run with this narrative. And y'all believed it. So when you ask me why am I talking now after, oh, it's been 20 years. It ain't been 20 years. My child is 17. Okay? So let's 18. But you're asking me why I'm talking now? Why else wouldn't I talk now? There's a whole new agreement in place. And his dumb ass didn't realize that by us having this new agreement, it trumps the old one, dummy. So yes, I can talk now. And even though you gave us shit for the remainder of Braylon being a minor through graduating high school, it ain't even about the money. I know how to work. I know how to get up and get a job. I just restarted my company. I have a whole bunch of shit happening for me. So just because you don't pay shit, please don't think that's why I'm doing this. You have never helped with Braylon. You sent a check, and then you stopped that check in September of last year. So this whole agreement that you're talking about we have, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to still make it happen. I have made it happen since I was 16 years old, and I'm going to make it happen now. Mortgage will be paid. Bills will be paid. Trips will be taken. Experience will be had. I don't need your money, but I will tell my truth, y'all. This man is evil. This man put his hands on me. This man threatened me with a knife. This man literally said he could kill me right now. And nobody would say anything because he could claim self-defense, and because everybody loves him and hates me, he get away with it. These are the type of people that y'all are defending. Y'all defended Diddy. Y'all defended R. Kelly. Do I still listen to some of his music? I ain't gonna lie. There are certain songs that I might still listen to, but I still know that he's a fucking evil ass person. Like, let's be for real now. We're not going to sit here and come at me and act like I'm just so crazy. I'm not. And anybody, why are you doing this on the internet? What are we supposed to do with this information? Listen and learn and understand, because y'all got this person on TV shows wearing wigs, okay, and dancing around, and you voting for him when this whole person is out here being a straight narcissist and abuser. Like, let's be for real. I don't give a what anybody got to tell me right now. You're not going to do that. And yes, I am a little upset because it never stops. It never stops. That's why I'm doing this, because it's still happening. I'm not the only one that's talking. I'm not. Number 2 was going to have her story too. But she's waiting. I'm telling my story now because it matters. Because people cannot continue to get away with this shit. How quick we forget about what just happened. And just because, it came out that the case was dropped because he admitted it was consensual, what the do you think my child has been seeing? And being told that it was okay. We're not going to sit here and now make it seem like I'm a horrible mom and like I didn't raise him right when we grew up talking about the No Square song. Like, let's not do that. A mistake was made at 11, 12 years old. Stop it. We played house. We played hide and go get it. Let's stop right now of pushing this narrative that his daddy started. That his family started. Let's also talk about my child going to Georgia for a month and them getting him kicked out of homeschool because they refused to let him do his work. They sent him to church, was trying to have like a priest tell him to say none of this happened to him. Literally was trying to get in his head and say, your mama made this up. A priest. A priest. Not a tutor. A priest. Coming to my child in Georgia as he's running around on this farm, trying to force him to say on camera, because there's cameras everywhere, this didn't happen to me here. This didn't happen to me here. This didn't happen to me here. Of course he's not going to say that because I raised him right. Let's talk about how even when the nanny was fired and why she was fired. She was fired because she touched another child. Do we know where that nanny is? He does. Will he tell anybody? No. You want to know how I know he knows where he is? Because he had to say that in a meeting that we had. Is she aware of the accusations? Yeah. If you're being accused of sexually abusing a child, wouldn't you come out and say something? Is that just me? Because I swear I would come out and say something. I really would. That's not something that you just take lightly. She's never said shit. Nobody knows where she is. Why? Because in my opinion, I believe that she was paid to leave. Just like I was offered, along with some of the other mothers were offered money to say that our child was not his. So even though there's 5, is there 5? All these years I have missed out on any type of career that I've tried to have. Not because I wasn't trying to have a career, but because I couldn't get a job, because every single time I would get something, all of a sudden it would be taken from me because of him and his PR people. Are y'all sure y'all want to work with her? She's really dramatic. Okay. I majored in theater. I am dramatic. But I'm not a liar. You're not going to sit here and make it seem like I'm just making stuff up. So let's keep going. Next thing, find out that there's another child. Mind you, he was still in my text messages and I was ignoring him. We still in court. I'm ignoring him. Because since you want to take everything to the court, we gonna leave it in the court. There's no reason why we need to communicate at all. Because you're out here lying on me. You're out here taking opportunities from me that I have fought so hard to have. I don't care how old I was. We met when he was 18, almost 19, and I was freaking 24. Braylon didn't come until I was 27. So yes, if people want to say, oh, he was young, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Go ahead and say he was young. And I was immature. And he was probably maybe the second person that I had sexual intercourse with back then in 2004. As many times as I tried to move on, he would contact whoever I was dating. I don't know, Dwayne from season 1. I'm gonna get in contact with him because he told me even a few months ago, he was like, girl, if you need anything, I got you, because I was there day 1. So if I need to get Dwayne to release a statement about what he went through and the threats that he received when he was with me, I could do that. Because he was threatened that if he was with me, that bad things would happen. When I moved on, when I was dating Brian, y'all remember him from the show. Brian was there when a lot of shit was happening as well. Brian and I are still cool. Desmond was really there when a lot of shit was happening, because Desmond was going to be the one, right? You know what he did? He started contacting all these different associates of his. Desmond was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then he got traded. I'm trying to tell y'all that people who are in these higher positions, they will throw the rock and hide their hand. So again, like I said, I had to stop myself because I got to keep telling my story, and I got to tell it in order because I know there's a lot of questions. But when I tell y'all today, there's going to be a PR stunt. And maybe not anymore because I'm saying something, but there's going to be videos of a birthday party of a daughter he hardly ever sees, and the other one that was forced to go back. Huge birthday party. But you want to know who has never gotten a birthday present? Our son. You want to know who has only gotten a Christmas gift 3 times out of 17 years? Our son. Why? Because I didn't coddle. Because I didn't do the bending. Because I didn't do a lot of things that he was asking me to do. Because I knew it was wrong. There are other people, even when we were dating, that he wanted me to go off on. There were people that he wanted me to, like, basically ruin their life. And I was like, nah. Like, why? Why you care so much? One of them being one of his exes. And I refused to do it. Because why? Why are we doing that? If you don't care, why are we doing this? So again, this has nothing to do about the new person he's with. At all. Nothing. Please understand, this has nothing to do about her. I wish her all the best. I do. But this ain't got shit to do with you, sweetheart, at all. This has everything to do with me and my child and what he is still doing behind the scenes. He's still making phone calls. He still has blogs like the Shade Room under his wing. Okay? They only post negative things about me, if you've noticed, or the captions are always very, like, one-sided. I need y'all to pay attention. That's what I need y'all to do. Before you become the next victim or someone that you knows. I know y'all don't know me from shit except from a show or from doing this little series thing. I know that. But what I do need you to understand is I'm not just doing this because I'm bored. I'm doing this because this is my last straw. This is my Hail Mary. This is the last thing that I can possibly do to get him to leave me the fuck alone. Leave us alone. You don't pay a dime in child support. Leave us alone. Stop calling our son and trying to get him to feel like he's such a terrible ass person because he don't want to have shit to do with you. You've never been in his life for real. I am the one who forced him to go to that show. I'm the one who said, you know what? Just take it for the experience. You're going to see Miss Phaedra. You haven't seen her in years. She would love to see you, I'm sure. And then he saw Omarosa, who I've known forever, that I know it's a whole big controversy with her. But the person I know is cool shit. So I told him, go and experience this. I don't have those connections. I don't know these people like that. I can't get you in all these doors because they've been shut for me. I have been blackballed from a lot of the mainstream industry because of this person. And y'all want me to shut up? Y'all want me to be quiet? I have been suicidal. I have been in positions where I just wanted to get up and just leave. I wanted to change my name. I wanted to just stop everything. And then I look at that face in there, and even though he's 17, I still see myself, and I still see innocence. I still see regret. I still see misunderstanding. I see healing as well. This is something that now he has to deal with for the rest of his fucking life because people want to get on this internet and call him all types of names for a mistake that he made after a conversation his father had with him. When your own father calls you gay at 11 years old because you haven't touched anything or done anything, that's crazy. When your father is sitting here telling you, well, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman because a man's, G-spot is in his ass? Why are you telling a freaking 12-year-old this? This is a conversation that was had during quarantine. So let's get into that even. Because now at this point, I don't give a fuck. I was in Georgia for quarantine. I almost didn't go because when it first came up, it was a whole text thread between me, Mimi, God, girl, I miss you, Christine, okay? And I also believe Tiffany was in there. We agreed to go, me, Christine, well, let me not say that. The ones that agreed to go were Christine and Mimi. I was like, nah, because I was dating a doctor at the time. If you go back on my thread or whatever, I'm not sure if I archived it, but I was dating a whole doctor from the Bahamas. He was fine as hell. But when the world really started like shutting down and then Mimi passed because she had a seizure and she drowned in the toilet, weird. I got a phone call of devastation. I mean, y'all, this person, you want to talk about me? Tootie, you want to talk about me needing to be on the big screen? Let's talk about your brother, bitch. I got a phone call bawling. Oh my God, I can't believe she's gone. I'm so devastated. What am I going to do? You don't even know David like that. You don't even know your son like that. Let's not even forget that you introduced him to your family at a Thanksgiving dinner in front of your girlfriend, Christine, out of nowhere, and was like, oh, this is my son, and I'm thankful for him. Thanksgiving, okay? That's how you introduce your son to your family. I had already met him in Houston because I was invited to Houston. That's how I met David, and he just flops in with his curly hair, crazy as hell. That's how I met him. And that's also how I met Mimi. And we hit it off almost immediately. Again, rest in peace. I love you, Mimi. I miss your ass so much. She was real as shit. She was a beautiful person. She had a beautiful voice. She had a lot going for her. So please don't even have this notion that none of us had anything going on, because we did. But let's go back to quarantine. He calls and he's boohoo crying and saying all these things about why he really needs us there. I get on the phone, I'm talking to Christine, and she was like, you know what, Royce, just go ahead and go. Go ahead and go. So even though I'm arguing with my boyfriend about going, he's like, I understand. That's why I went to quarantine. So we're in Georgia and get there. It's, I want to say maybe around like 8. It was definitely dark, but we get there. And I'm told that we're going to be staying in the guest house. It's a big, huge compound in Gwinnett, Georgia. I am taking out the stuff, putting it in the car. And then I get a text message saying, hey, come to the kitchen. We're about to have dinner. All right, I go. This is the first night, y'all. I go, I sit at the table. Everyone's trying to act like things are normal. This shit ain't normal. So my first question, not gonna lie to you, was, what changed? Why are we here? Like, I really need to know what changed before I can be comfortable in a house with someone who has despised me in the past. And he was like, you know, life, man, and quarantine, and you know, the world is about to end, and I just want to make sure I have my family here. I got a therapist coming in. We're gonna do that ayahuasca thing or whatever, you know, that drink you take and they blow some shit up your nose and it's supposed to make you like all of a sudden just have all these revelations. And I was like, you know, okay. I thought the conversation went well. I later found out that they went out in the garage and were upset, or he was upset that I asked that question. But moving on. I was in Georgia for quarantine for about 3 months. And I actually left at one point to go home for Mother's Day. And then I went back. That's actually when I broke up with my boyfriend because he didn't understand why I was going back. Now, during quarantine, it was a lot of mind fucks. And I wish that Christine would come out and tell her story, but I don't know if she ever will. But Christine was very much still in love with him. And she was doing pretty much everything trying to get their relationship back on track. What I was being told, and you know I have the text messages, and at this point I'll probably release them. I was being told that I want to make you the matriarch because you're smart, you call me on my shit, you don't let me get away with anything, and you know how to save money. And I'm like, okay, but what does that consist of? And he's like, well, I mean, I know that you got a lot going on right now, but you could stay at this house or I can get you another house. And I know Tyler Perry, I can get you in movies. I could get our son a trainer and we can make this work. I said I would think about it. So we're there and we're with his trainer, who I'm not going to name because I'm still very close to him, as well as a guy named Kevin Wesley, who is about this polyamorous lifestyle. And they keep trying to let's have basically a sister wives situation. Hell no. Hell no. We're not going to do that. There was a day where everybody was supposed to do mushrooms. I don't know y'all like that. So I pretended to take them. Legit pretended. And if you don't know how people take mushrooms, a lot of people take mushrooms by eating them with peanut butter. I didn't do that because I don't know y'all like that. Like, these are people that are not my friends. So I put it in my mouth, but then I do it like this. And I just sat there, and for like 30 minutes, people were normal. And then all of a sudden, shit starts happening. People are saying things, they're acting weird, people are touching themselves. It was weird. I ended up leaving the room. So that was one of those days. Now another day, I walk into a conversation that is being had with my 12-year-old son about sex and about like, oh, well, my ex was, well, not even saying my ex, because at that point, I think they were still something. This was the basketball player girl. But she was coming by the house. She was coming by the house with these 2 dogs she had and was like checking on things, trying to see if we were fucking. Not yet. But anyway, he was having this conversation with our son, along with 2 of his friends, and they were talking about heterosexual relationships, homosexual relationships, threesomes, where their G-spot was. And this is a bunch of dudes, y'all, talking to a 12-year-old. So, and telling him that he's gay because he hasn't touched anything. When I tell you my child was not even allowed to listen to the radio until he was 10, I mean that. We were Disney Live. We were Kids Space Live. We had satellite radio. I made sure that I was raising him in an innocent way. So these are the conversations that are being had with him. Now let's fast forward a little bit, because I went in there and I went off on everybody. I did. I was like, he's 12. What are you doing? He doesn't need to know that. Oh my God, you're raising him to be a pussy. Oh, what are you, like, he's supposed to be doing this by now. Why? Man, you know how we were when we were little. How were you? Because I wasn't like that when I was little. Did I sneak and watch porn? Like, I would find my dad's tapes? Yeah, I did do that. But not until I was in high school. I wasn't thinking about that when I was 12. I was thinking about cheering and dance and gymnastics and running track. That's it. That's what my head was. Sports. So why again are you having this conversation with a 12-year-old? Somebody tell me. Is that okay? So of course, now this is in his head. Now he feels like, oh my God, my dad thinks I'm gay. My dad thinks this, my dad thinks that. His friends think this, his friends think that. But now let's fast forward again. I went home for Mother's Day. And while I'm home, I'm getting all these text messages. I miss you. I really want us to try and work things out. I know that I've done all these things to you. All this bullshit. Like, whatever. I'm saying this because this is what happened back then. Please do not think that I'm saying this because I still want him. No, I'm telling you the story. Okay? So, all that is happening. I keep everything. I will post the messages. I'm just going to show y'all the whole thread. All right? But I'm going to post it. Anyway, all that's happening. And when I go back after Mother's Day, it was like there was a complete and total shift. All of a sudden, there's like all these people at the house. Who are these people? We're supposed to be in quarantine. Like 6 feet apart. Like everybody's been tested. What are we doing? So maybe I maybe was there for a couple days. And I went to take a nap one day and I woke up and it was dusk. And I saw the fireflies even, y'all. Like it was a scene. So I walk out the guest house and I'm coming down the stairs. And like I said, it's very pretty. Fireflies that I never see here in Florida are everywhere. It was gorgeous. But then I see people hanging over balconies. I hear a bunch of cursing. I hear some music. And I see the trainer. But then I see him. And he's throwing up over the balcony. What the f is going on? And he's like, man, you know, nothing. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, man, we just having fun. You know what I'm saying? We just having fun. Where is our child? What? Trainer? Man, she talking about her child. Where her child at? Of course, they're saying his name. And then he goes, man, what up? Like, man, leave me alone. And then trainer says, F you. He gets pissed off. They start arguing. I run in the house. On the table, I see a table full of mushrooms, a white powder, peanut butter. I also see a girl peeing in a seat. Literally, like, peeing in a seat, but in first position, peeing in a seat. Like this. Okay? One of his seats. Peeing. Pissing. I see people who are by the snake room and they in there just like dancing offbeat. And I'm just thinking I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, what is happening here? So I go upstairs and I'm looking for my child. I'm screaming his name and everything. How his room is, he has this big ass room and then there's like this little like area where like there's a TV. That's where he is. And he's sitting there, 12 years old, like this. This is how I found my child. Okay? And I asked him, I was like, baby, are you okay? What's wrong? Nothing, I'm okay. And I was like, what's wrong? He's nothing. 12, y'all. My 12-year-old turned into a 5-year-old. And he's asking me, or I'm asking him, like, did something happen to you? And he said, no. He's like, I was just hungry. And I'm like, well, you were just hungry? What are you talking about? He's like, I was just hungry. And I said, what did you do? And yes, I started yelling at him because now I'm scared. He was like, I was just hungry. I said, Braylon, did you go downstairs? And he was like, I didn't mean to. And I was like, did you go downstairs? He said, yeah. Did you eat anything off that table? And he said, no. I shook him. I did. Did you take anything off that table? And he swore up and down to me that he did not. So I got him and I said, just go ahead and pack up whatever you want to pack up. And I'm like, we're going to go to my room. And he said, okay. We went down the stairs and we went out the front door, not the back door, so they didn't see us. And that's where we were for the remainder of the evening. That's a lie. That's where he was the remainder of the evening. I came out at one point and I talked to the groundskeeper, who I'm also still very close to, and I'm asking him, like, what is going on? And I asked where the nanny was. And he said, well, she off the clock. She clocks out at 6 o'clock, y'all. She's no longer taking care of anybody. She in her room minding her business. Groundskeeper, he's in his room watching TV. He was like, man, he having one of these parties again. And I'm like, and this is okay? We got kids here. I know, but you know how he is. No, I don't know how he is. I've never seen this side before. I didn't know this is what he does. And he's like, man, what? Yeah. He's like, he smoke all day. He take mushrooms. He does all these things. This man smokes every day, all day. And if you don't know that, that's crazy, especially by now, because I don't even think it's a secret anymore. And so be it. I have a medical card. Do I smoke? I don't really smoke because I don't like smoking, but I have edibles because I have anxiety and just because sometimes it makes me feel better. I get it. But every day, all day, right? Moving on. Next day, because I ended up going to sleep. The next day, I come downstairs and I see paraphernalia everywhere. It was almost like they just decided to run across the entire property and just throw shit. So I find the groundskeeper again and I'm like, yo, what the is happening? Actually, I skipped a part. I skipped the big part. I actually went downstairs first because I was walking my dog. So I had my dog there and I'm walking him. And little LJ, rest in peace, baby girl. I'm walking her, and I hear cursing. And I see Kevin Wesley and this dude named Callie. And Callie is going off on this man. He is cussing him out, talking about, how you ever try me like that? Dick in the booty ass. I ain't fucking gay. I ain't doing this. Like, excuse me. If you feel as if I'm making slurs, I'm just telling you what was being said and what I heard. So this is what I'm hearing. And I'm like, with my dog like this, like, come on, Blue, come on, Blue. And I decided to walk the other way across the property instead of the front. They walk all the way to the gate. This man leaves out the gate. He's still cussing and everything. He's like, you gonna see me. You gonna can see me. So as I put Blue away, that's when I go in the house and I find the groundskeeper and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Because this ain't normal, right? And he's like, wait, he said, what? I'm like, yeah, he talking about calling the cops. He talking about coming back and shooting up this whole house. I don't know how that's going to work, but this is what he's doing. So we get up and we start cleaning up the front of the house, inside the house, behind the house. And also let me know at one point during the evening that somebody went missing and we thought that maybe they had jumped in the lake. So I was actually called and my door was knocked on. It was like, we can't find. So I did get up another time and we just started looking, only to find out that they were in a bathroom together. But anyway, so moving on, we're picking up all the paraphernalia around the house and there's police cars driving past the house. Now they can't get on the property because it's a property that's locked. Like you have to have permission to get in there. Someone has to buzz you in. So they're just driving by. Slowly though, but driving by. We are going around picking up paraphernalia from everywhere. Just putting it in bags and all this stuff, right? Then I'm at the same time trying to contact him and be like, yo, do you know what's going on? Like, you need to get up and you need to take care of this. Real chill, real lackadaisical, real like, oh, it ain't nothing. Huh? I find out it's nothing because he's done this before many times. and has gotten away with it. Why? Because his uncle was a DA, and everybody in Georgia knows this is what they do. Oh, okay. Well, now here's a trump card, because this same person, Callie, decides to go on YouTube and Facebook and started posting pictures and videos about what had just happened. And he also mentioned that one of the kids and their mamas was there. I knew he was talking about me because Christine had already left. I'll tell you why she left later, but she had already left. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I gotta get out of here, because you're not gonna sit here and call me like a negligent parent. That aged well. But this is not what we're gonna do. So I started like trying to have a conversation and say, hey, this is reckless, this is dangerous, like you don't know these people for real, like what are you doing, like what about your career, like do you care, this isn't healthy, what are you dealing with mentally, what happened to the therapist that was supposed to be coming, that's supposed to help us, all this stuff. None of it happened, right? So we ended up getting in a huge argument. I mean, a big blowout argument. And the trainer was there. The trainer was trying to explain to him that he was in the wrong and like to just listen. And even trying to tell him, well, dude, I would have done the same thing if this had happened with me. He didn't want to hear that. So he got mad at even the trainer because the trainer wasn't sticking up for him. He wasn't a yes man, right? So that night, because there is a look that comes in a person's face when you know that you don't need them to be in your space anymore. When you know that it is time to go or something bad can happen to you. There is a look that my son's father has that almost makes his face turn into a skeleton. It is very evil looking, and it's almost like I can look in his eyes and see through to his soul. And I saw nothing but evil. So that evening, I started packing up my entire truck with everything. Everything that I brought there, I packed in my truck. And at like 3:30 in the morning, 3:30, I texted the trainer and I begged him to let me go. I said, please push the button, let me go. Because I couldn't leave unless somebody pushed the button. He pushed the button and he let me leave. And I left. The Airbnb I was supposed to be staying at was all of a sudden not available until 3 o'clock the next day. So you want to know what I had to do? I had to call that trainer back. And I said, hey, I need you to let me back in just for like a few hours. I'm like, because I can't stay at this gas station. I can't stay around the corner. Like where he stayed, there was really no place where I could just go and feel safe to just sit there. So I went back and he said, park where I park. And where they park was kind of around the corner to where even when he left in the morning to go train or whatever, he couldn't see my car. So that's what I did. I parked all the way around the side and we slept in the car. We slept in the car because I was on a just in case situation. So about 4 hours later, I was about to leave and he was like, no, wait. He ain't left yet. So right after he left to go train, that's when I left. And we went to an Airbnb and we were at an Airbnb for, I want to say like a week, 2 weeks maybe, if that long. And I was calling my attorney and my attorney was telling me basically how stupid I was. That if I had stayed just a little bit longer, he would have been able to claim residency with my son and he probably would have tried to take custody. So I left just in time. I was in contact with the groundskeeper. I was in contact with the trainer. They would come by and check on me. One would bring me some food. But when I got on the road, I also called Tiffany, which is baby mama number 2. And we had gotten close. And I told her what happened, and she was like, bitch, don't you ever do that again in your mother effing life. Like, that was so stupid. How could you fall for that? And I'm like, it was my surrender flag. For all these years, I was losing. For all these years, I was called a liar. For all these years, I lost my career. For all these years, I was told by the whole fucking world that I ain't shit. So what else do? I waved my surrender flag because I felt like, damn, you win. I wasn't even that ant trying to take an elephant out bite, bite, bite. I was that ant that just kept getting stepped on. Like, I had no way out, y'all. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even audition. Like, I tried to get a job at Disney and they said it was a conflict of interest because they were like a sponsor of the team. Any place that I tried to go in my own hometown, y'all, in my own hometown, wouldn't hire me. That's why I started my own company, because I wanted to help young girls that look like me. And I wanted to train them to be better than I was because I had lost everything. And as strong as I portray myself to be, and as, you know, straightforward and I'm going to say my piece, I didn't. For almost 18 years. I said nothing. And when I did say little tidbits here and there, I was bitter. I was jealous. This is a person who does not want any of us to be with anyone. This is a person who just a freaking month ago was in a whole different relationship with a girl named Courtney. Literally was just in a relationship during Dancing with the Stars. Was in a relationship with this girl. She was there. And said to the judge recently in another court case he had that this was his girlfriend and was going to be his wife. That's what he said about this girl, even in court recently, and what he said during that show. So when you sit here and you think that I'm bitter about him being engaged to somebody else, it's a cycle. It's a PR stunt. And he's going to probably follow through with it. But it's because he knows that the real shit about him is coming out. Ask him about Ray Edwards and their parties. Ask him about the red dress that he wore during a Diddy party. Like, we're not going to do that. I know too much. And the reason I'm talking now is because if something fucking happens to me, y'all know why. This is me purging. And people saying, oh, you should write a book, or you should do a movie, or you should do this. Oh, sure. I would definitely do that. But I don't even know if I'm going to make it that long, y'all. I wake up every day terrified. I wake up every day, if I drive my car, I'm looking left and right. This is a person who has had me followed before. And I'm just supposed to sit here and be quiet? If something had happened to me and I never said anything, y'all wouldn't give a fuck. And y'all probably still don't give a fuck. Y'all are maybe just on here because y'all want to hear the drama. But I'm here because I'm trying to tell you that I'm scared. I'm scared. And I'm lost. I have nothing else that he can take from me besides my life. That's it. So this is me telling my story. So if something happens to me, you still know what happened, and maybe the next person can do better. So when you see this birthday party later on today, just know my son got absolutely nothing for his birthday, not even a phone call. My son gets cussed out anytime that he tries to call his father out on something. My son has not gotten anything for his birthday ever. My son has only gotten a Christmas gift 3 times because he feels like he don't have to do nothing. This little lump sum that he's talking about he gave, that was supposed to cover from last year, September, when he just stopped paying child support, until May of 2026 when he graduates, is nothing. But guess what? I know who I was raised by. And I know that they've raised a strong woman. And regardless of what happens to me, I'm going to make sure that that person in that other room is okay. My mom's entire savings was taken from her because I simply said on the Wendy Williams show who his father was. But let y'all tell it, or let the media outlets tell it, it's because I was bashing him. I was defaming him. It was defamation and slander. I have not lied about anything. I have no reason to. My life is my life. I can't make this shit up. As unbelievable as it may be, it's real. So I'm going to save this live in case anybody has any questions or concerns. Not even concerns, because I know y'all don't give a fuck. But know that I'm doing this for the sake of my sanity and my son. Because it's all that matters to me. And I don't know if I'm going to get through 2025. I'm not going to take myself out. But somebody else might. And I mean that. As dramatic as it may seem, I mean that. There's a lot of shit that has gone on. I can even name the name Zachary Timms. There's a lot of shit that goes on that's hidden. So, before I put out part 4, this is why I'm doing it. Because I'm terrified of this person. And I know he has blogs under his wing on payroll to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy and like we're just out for his money or that we're jealous. No, we're not. Think about it. Anytime some shit has come out about him, all of a sudden you see a picture or video of him in a new relationship, or he's helping kids somewhere in like Africa, or he's going to visit another country. What about your own? You're doing all these things, allegedly, for all these other people, but you don't hold it down for your home. That's crazy. It's not about love. It's not about family. That's a lie. All those freaking videos he does, and he's like, I love my family. His family went to I'm gonna say it. His family went to court and acted like they didn't even know the other mama. Acted like they didn't know her basically at all. When she was very close to them, even stayed with them, was going out with them, hanging out with them and everything. They went to court and pretended like they didn't know her at all. That's the type of shit that happens. But then you finna see this big ass birthday party and everybody smiling. So just know what it is. I'm not reading these comments down here. I don't know like whatever is being said. I don't really care. But I'm telling my story because I'm telling my story. So that's me being vulnerable. I'm terrified. I don't know when my last day is. I don't know if I'm going to be run off the road. I don't know if somebody going to knock at my door and like arrest me for whatever reason. I don't know. But this is my story. This is how I escaped. This is how I tried to move on and live my life. And I'm still to this day being given hell. And y'all don't know it because he sits here and pretends like he's just this great person and y'all believe it. Dancing around in a wig. It's all about the kids. Oh my God, I can't believe it's for y'all. I love you so much. And even my son, he's here. I love you, man. Fall for it if you want to. All right. That's it. And take my daily vitamins and call it a live. Is that what they say when you sign off on live? But these are B6. But that's all I really gotta say. Anybody who still thinks I'm lying, okay. You can think whatever you want to think. You can project that energy however you want to project it. But it is what it is. Put me on a lie detector test. Please. They don't want that though. They don't want that because I'm going to ask them to ask me everything, even stuff I ain't even mentioned on here. So, you don't want these problems. So, Tootie, if you got something else to say, you have my number. And I don't know why you calling Tiffany because she don't fuck with you either. If you think that we don't talk, you're crazy. That's my dog. We real good now. Because the same thing that was happening to me, or is happening to me, is now happening to her. And just like I said to her, you were a bridge. That's all. You were the bridge. I was first. He treated me crazy and thought he was gonna get away with it. So he used you as a bridge. So when he had...
So after watching that, do y'all feel a different type of way about Dwight, or y'all feel like she just saying this to mess up his relationship now? I don't play when it comes to SA, and for somebody to claim that, I don't play with that type of stuff. So I'm hoping that she is, telling the truth about what she's saying. But like I'm going to say allegedly, I'm just telling what she's saying. But this whole situation with things happening to his family, and then now the child, and him allegedly paying them to say that's not his kids, or all that type of stuff, and he was denying the kids, and then all of a sudden he want to have parties for kids that he said wasn't his, and then not sending no birthday gifts and stuff. I get the fact that he's saying, oh, I gave her money for him, this and that other, she should buy it with it. It's the fact that's coming directly from you seeing him, like she said, he gets shut up when he's trying to talk to Dwight and all of that stuff. It's just crazy. But y'all stay tuned for the rest of the videos. Y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Banger Plate Gang, subscribe to Trish World, subscribe to Brown Sugar. Make sure you check me out on social media. Check out my shop. Check out my IGT page. Shop with your girl. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, be blessed.